Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down complex stuff into clear guides you can actually use. Today, we are cracking the code on a test that trips up a lot of people, the Peroptyx Google Maps Evaluator Assessment.
So, let's just dive right in. If you've tried to pass this thing and failed, you are definitely not alone. A lot of applicants find this final assessment to be incredibly tough. But based on some great insights from creator Vinay Mishra, who actually passed it, we're going to break down a strategy that's less about being perfect and more about hitting a very specific goal.
And this quote right here, it really gets to the absolute heart of the whole strategy. See, the test isn't about getting every single tiny detail right. It's about showing you're competent and consistent. And that's a huge shift in how you should think about it.
Okay, so this leads us to probably the biggest, most crucial mindset shift you need to make before you even start. You have to forget about getting a perfect score. Seriously, that's not the goal here. And if you chase it, you're just going to get frustrated. The real target is way more achievable.
Here it is, 75%. That's the magic number. To pass the final assessment, you only need to hit a 75% accuracy rate. That's it. Not 100%, not even 90. Just get 3 out of every 4 things right.
So what does that really mean? It means you have room to make mistakes. Think about it. If a question has 4 different things to evaluate and you get one of them wrong, you're still at 75% accuracy for that single question. That should take a massive amount of pressure off your shoulders. You can mess up and still pass this thing.
All right, let's get practical. How does this actually look when you're staring at a question? Well, there's a system for it. And before you even think about an answer, you have to understand the context of the search. So, Mishra recommends this simple 4-step check you do before you even start evaluating. First, where is the user? You need their location. Second, what's the center of the map they're looking at? That's the viewport. Third, and this is an obvious one, read the query very carefully. And fourth, check if the map data is fresh or stale. Getting these 4 things straight from the get-go is the key to framing your whole evaluation. Okay, so once you've got that context down, now we can get into the real meat of it, the actual evaluation. And this is where you apply a really consistent 4-point framework to judge the result you're given. First on the list is relevance, and this is all about asking, does this result actually make sense for what the user was trying to find? You'll think about things like how far away it is, but also the type of search. You know, if someone's searching for a specific brand, their intent is navigational. They want to go to that specific place. Next up, name accuracy. And this one is all about the little details. Does the name of the place on the map perfectly match what the user typed in? And as you'll see in a minute, something as tiny as capitalization can actually trip you up.
Number 3 is address accuracy. This one's pretty simple, actually. Is the street address right? And Mishra has a great little hack for this. Just copy the address, pop it into a new Google Maps tab, and you can see right away if it's correct. Easy.
And last but not least, pin accuracy. You're basically asking, is the little red pin on the map dropped in the right spot for that address? You got to make sure the picture matches the words. Okay, so theory is one thing, but let's see how this whole framework holds up with a real-world example from his practice test. Because this is where you really learn, by looking at the official feedback and figuring out what went wrong.
So in his walkthrough, he's looking at a hotel query. He's ticking the boxes. Relevance good, address good, pin good. Then he gets to name accuracy and he marks that as correct too. But the official feedback comes back a little differently. It flags it as only partially correct.
So, what happened? Well, the feedback tells you exactly why. The user typed the search in title case, with capital letters at the start of each word. But the result on the map? It was all lowercase. It's such a tiny thing, but according to the rules, it means the name isn't 100% correct. And this right here is where the whole 75% thing just clicks into place. Even with that one tiny mistake on name accuracy, his score for that query was still 75%. Because 3 out of the 4 checks were still right. That's a pass. See? That's the accuracy mindset in action.
So going through this whole process, learning from the feedback, figuring out all these little details, it actually led him to build something pretty powerful to help him nail that 75% score on the final test, when it really counted.
He knew that to keep his accuracy high, especially under pressure with all these different questions, he couldn't do it all in his head. He needed like an expert assistant that already knew the rules inside and out.
And his secret weapon? Well, it wasn't just opening up ChatGPT and asking a simple question. No, he actually engineered a super specific, custom prompt built from the ground up just for these Peroptyx evaluation queries.
And I mean, this was a serious project. He basically built a custom AI brain for this test. He fed it everything, all the different types of questions, everything he learned the hard way, and tons of examples of both right and wrong answers. He was essentially training his own little evaluation expert.
And this tool is the final piece of the puzzle he shares. For anyone who's interested in using what he built, he actually makes this custom prompt available for purchase through his Telegram profile.
All right, so let's just quickly sum up his final bits of advice. When you're just starting, he suggests you should be asking for a rate around $4 to $5 an hour. You don't need to work all day. 4 or 5 hours is totally fine. And the most important thing of all, always keep that 75% accuracy target in your head.
Which really leaves us with one last thing to think about, right? A tool like that custom prompt is obviously a huge help, a massive shortcut. But what's really more valuable in the long run? Just having the tool, or having the deep, methodical understanding of the rules that it took to build that tool in the first place?